Here's my first fire with my, what's it called? Biolite stove. Only got small twigs in there so far, but I'm just warming up, rewarming some leftovers that I brought from home, which are already starting to bubble in there. It's going to be a lot easier than boiling water. I probably won't even need to put the fan on high. As you can hear, it makes a little whining noise. Sounds like my fire is getting a little too low. My fire had gone out momentarily while I was videoing. Now it's gone way down again. But I just threw in some more smaller twigs, and it came back to a roar. As you can see, my food is bubbling and steaming. So, the rest of the fire is just for show. I almost forgot to try charging my iPod. Fire's still going. That little green light means that there's power available to charge the iPod. And indeed, when I just plugged it in, it went bleep, and the green light is on. Once it's hot, it looks like you can throw pretty big sticks in. And even if the flame has gone out and there's just embers down in the bottom, you can put in a stick. Well, size of my pinky, or a little smaller than my pinky, and it'll catch on fire without any more kindling or tinder. And we're charging away here. I was about half charged when I plugged in. I think I'll just leave the fire going while I eat my lunch. It's a green light, turns out, here when it's charging. I had to get the fan on high and feed in pretty big sticks before the green light would come on. But it is now. Of course, I had to go up to Boston Lot Lake to christen my device. Where else? Here's an example of it having burned down quite a bit. I just threw in a pretty big log. Pretty big twig. By regular fire standards, everything's kindling that goes in this. It's awesome. I'm going to see if that, yep, there it goes. It's going to start to light. Even though I didn't put anything small in yet, because we still have embers and the heat of the stove. And we've still got a green light right now, even though the flame had gone down quite a bit. I'm going to be very curious to see how long it takes for the whole thing to cool off after I've been burning it, so I can actually pack it back out. Well, I've gone from half charged to fully charged in, I don't know, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I didn't actually look at my watch when I started. But it was at least 15 minutes. And it's most of the way fully charged. It went from half to almost fully. I'm just going to let this go out now. See how long it takes for it to die down. the fan continues to run, I noticed, even if I try to turn it off when the stove is still hot. So I guess that's a safety feature. The fan will continue to run even when I try to. In fact, it came back on by itself at one point. So that's good if it's not safe to be shut off yet. It sure feels like a wood stove. You throw wood in there, even though it's got an open top. It goes wild, just like a wood stove. It just happened again. I just carried the stove down to the water and dumped a little bit of smoldering twigs into the lake. Something you can't do with a traditional campfire. The directions do say that it automatically shuts itself off after it's cool enough. So I can just take a little walk now and come back and see. Although I would be curious to see how long this takes. I could take the power module off the stove as long as I can handle it. As you can see, it's cooled off enough for me to touch it. It didn't take long. I pulled the power module out and directed the cool air up towards the metal thermocouple, and it quickly shut the fan off. So that seemed to cool it off quicker than leaving it on the unit. And now it's cool enough to touch. So 15 minutes after I shut off, after I stop feeding it, it's ready to pack. This thing's amazing.